to a client. And that's what your metric is. When you start out, it's going to be huge. It's going to be a big number. As you get better at it, you will lower that number. So always go in with a metric. You should be approaching your networking like you do your business. Okay. You're at the networking event. And by the way, I'm just as guilty of this. You can always tell when I'm a bad event. You need to be approaching the networking event with the right attitude. Okay? What does this say? How many people have been to a networking event and they see people doing that? Okay. Do you feel like going up and talking to them? No. Okay. Something else you want to do too is, don't ignore the person staying in the corner by themselves, who's shy, the wallflower. It's like being at the junior high school dance. Talk to them. Those are always the people when I go to a chamber event that I seek out and talk to. And the reason being is that I put myself in a position to help them get out there on the dance floor. Okay? It puts you in a friend position. It puts you in a much better place to build up a relationship with that person. Some of my best clients and my best friends in networking have come because they were the wallflower. Now they're the ones leading people into dancing. Okay? Also, give a flavored answer to a fruitless question. Okay? What that means is, how was your day? Okay? Now, I'm notorious for doing this too. Sometimes I just get tired. I'm tired of trying to come up with all kinds of funny things or asking stuff. So how was your day? That's kind of a fruitless question. Okay? But if I'm going to answer that, and if I'm in the right mood for it, I'm going to say, my day's been fabulous. It's wonderful. It can't get any better. Okay? The reason you do that is because what happens? People want to know more. They're intrigued. And by the way, 9 out of 10 times I'm being very genuine when I say that. We'll talk about genuineness, okay? I'm going to give you some advice. If you're in a bad mood, and I've done this myself, if you're in a bad mood, don't go networking. Okay? It's going to come across as disingenuous when you're telling people how wonderful your day is, and you look like someone just ran over your dog. I actually had that happen here. There was someone I was with who was no longer actually with the group. They've actually moved on to somewhere else. But I literally sat down and I said, you probably shouldn't have come out networking today. Okay? So be careful about that. And by the way, if y'all ever see me being that way, which I have been, y'all can tell me too. Steve, go home. Okay, here's one of the most important things you can do. What is your story? Okay? I'm not going to go into detail because we don't have a lot of time, but the story about why I became what I was going into the financial planning world was actually a really good story. And it showed exactly why someone needs a financial planner. Okay? Talk about your story. Why are you doing what you're doing? I know we're supposed to talk here about our personal stuff. Well, guess what? Sometimes why I became what I became is personal. And it says everything about me. So come up with your story. Don't make it up. Okay? But come up with your story. People want to know your story, why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, here we have our name tags. How many of you have name tags that you actually wear out at other networking events? If you don't have one, you need to get one. And I'm going to suggest something which is not what we do here, because we do things differently. But outside, in other networking events, you need a name tag, you want your name on it. If you want to put, my favorite dog is a Chihuahua, whatever you want to put on it, but you want a name tag, you want something that's going to get people to want to talk to you. Okay, and also too, there's nothing more embarrassing. You walk into a room and you know you've met that person before, and you cannot remember their name, and thank the Lord for the name tag. And I always know when, because I'm tall enough that I know when people are looking at my name tag. It's also free advertising. Okay, and I'm going to also tell you something else. In this room, one of the things I loved about successful thinking, the reason I stuck with successful thinkers, is because of the fact that it was teaching people something I was trying to teach people back and when I did networking speeches all the time, about the fact that you meet with everybody, okay? And you don't have to hide what you do to meet with them, but you meet with everybody because you never know what's going to happen. Because of the people I met in here, and some very, very specific people, is what made me decide to make a decision and change in my life. This is going to be a much better change for me, okay? You never know what's going to happen. Biggest client I ever got was from somebody I didn't want to talk to. That's where I learned my lesson about talking to everybody. Okay. Also too, do you know how to, well, let me back up a little bit. When you're at a networking event, how many of you do this? You go into the networking, okay, I'm sorry, I'm going through this. You go to the networking event, you've got your group of friends, you hover with them the entire time. Don't. Okay, I'm skipping real quick now. Okay. The other thing too is when you're actually having your one-on-one, okay? Be very careful about not asking the right questions. Okay, so we've gone past the I know you thing. I know I like you. Okay? Why are we asking specific questions about people's businesses? What do you need? What's the biggest holdup you've got right now? What's your biggest problem? Okay? Are you doing that because you're being selfish and you're trying to get them so you get business from them? No, you're being a good business citizen, good corporate citizen. Because if I ask you, and I'm going to put you on the spot, what's your biggest problem, and you tell me what your biggest problem is, chances are I know somebody that can help you fix the problem. And then you become a good networking. Networking is not about spreading your business. And I need to emphasize that. I apologize, I've only been here 4 months. If we were back in Arizona, I would have gotten business to most of you. Okay? Because I know a lot of people. It is not, and let me repeat that, networking is not about getting yourself business. It is about going out there and being a helpful member of the business society and the business world and helping your neighbor. Because when you help your neighbor, they're going to come back and help you. Now, does that mean that I keep taking cake next door to the person next to me and they never give me a cake back? No. There's also selfish people out there, and when you meet that person after you tried a couple times, you might want to move on. But that's what you're here for. If you're here to push your business, you need to leave now. And that's true of all networking. You're not here to push your business. You're here to find out what the needs are of the people around you. And if everybody in this room did that, and then gave that information to the person that could help that person, how much more business would everybody in here have? Okay, exactly. A couple of other things real quick. Sorry, I'm skipping some stuff. Okay, follow-up. This is very, very important. And I know a lot of people in this room don't do it because I've had one-on-ones with you and I never hear from you again. Now, some of you, I understand why you don't talk to me again because one of the things you have to be is also genuine. Those of you who've had one-on-ones with me know I'm genuine. Sometimes my genuine isn't so nice, but I'm definitely genuine. Okay? I'm going to ask questions that are going to put you in pain, but I ask those questions because I want to understand. Okay? But always be genuine. Don't be fake. And here's the thing, one reason I am the way I am is the fact that with what I was doing, the clients that would come to me want my kind of personality. That's why I don't consider other advisors to be competition because that's whoever's going to come to me is going to come to me for me. Okay? And that's how you have to feel about your business. You could have 6 realtors in here, but all 6 realtors have a different personality, and all 6 realtors are going to appeal to a different client. So stop worrying about the fact that there's 6 other realtors sitting at the table. Okay? So definitely be genuine. But follow up. How many of you have a CRM? Like Salesforce, Redtail, an Excel sheet? Okay. If you don't have one, I'm going to tell you right now, if there's anything you leave with this room today, you need to have one. Every one of you that I've met on a one-on-one is in that system. And I have it down where I'm going to be contacting you every so often. It'll be an email, it might be a phone call, it might just be a quick nod as we walk across the room. But I know to keep in contact with you. And the reason I do that is because one day something's going to happen, and either you're going to need me or you're going to need to meet someone that I know. And if you're not doing that, you're wasting your time networking. You might as well take your cards, put them out in the middle of the table, and walk out of the room. And I'm sorry if I'm sounding crass, but that's the truth. If you're not keeping up on people, you're not getting anywhere. So I suggest you get a CRM. Salesforce is actually a very, very good one. I use Redtail, which is for financial advisors, which I think they've got some other things there. But Salesforce is an online system. I can get it for $9 a month. Okay? There's a couple of them out there. But come up with some system. Okay, and I overdid my thing. So do we have any questions?
For those who don't know, CRM stands for?
I knew you were going to ask that. CRM is
Customer Relationship Management.
Referral. Okay. Say it out loud, please.
Relationship Management.
Right, thank you. But there's a lot of systems out there for that. I really recommend